Since the last time I uploaded a video, I thought about it a little bit. If it's working, I think it is for the purposes that I've mentioned in my first one. Listening to my own voice has been quite weird since I haven't really done that for a long time, and especially listening to me talking in English, which I haven't done since high school. I mostly read and write in English, and now when I'm just talking with no bullet points, no other forms of preparation, it's it's interesting, and it's definitely doing what I wanted from it, which was reveal the flaws in my English and help me improve. I'm pretty sure that I am seeing results that I wanted to see. On the other hand, I was quite pleasantly surprised by the fact that I have quite a lot of things that I'm okay to talk about in terms of me just enjoying them, in terms of me just feeling pure joy while I am making these. Well, they are videos, but not exactly, since this is just my audio talking, doing nothing else. But again, I thought there are way too many things that I just dislike, and that finding topics to talk about in these would be quite challenging, and yet it turned out that there is a lot. I already thought about quite a few other topics that I would like to talk right after I'm done with Neverwinter, which might take, I don't know, 3 or 4 more videos, maybe even more, depending on how deep I'm willing to go into each chapter. We'll see. I thought about a few more warnings for anyone actually listening to this. I would like to empathize that there will be spoilers to whatever I'm talking about. On the other hand, I won't be mentioning pretty much any new stuff. So the spoiler warnings are pretty much just for things that have been around for decades. So anyone who's afraid of that, then yeah, these are not for you. Also, since I have no script, there is a very high chance that I'll repeat myself. I might contradict myself. I might be completely wrong about some just straight up facts because I'm just, talking about stuff. So, with that out of the way, I missed a few things that I should have mentioned about Neverwinter and my gaming experience in general, which I would probably start with alignments. I might pose myself as someone who's rough around the edges, all the edges, but I really like my happy endings. I never played a Renegade playthrough of Mass Effect, never played a dark side in Knights of the Old Republic, and I've never played evil character in Neverwinter. It's just something that I'm incapable of doing. One example would be a side quest. It's not even a side quest really, it's just an interaction with an NPC in the main city hub of Neverwinter, where you meet a prostitute who's contracted the plague that we are trying to cure, which is somewhat of a main quest of the first chapter. And she's still on the streets. She's trying to feed her family, and there are options. You can give her 100 gold and send her home to to get her off the streets, or you can pretend that you have a cure and actually solicit money from her, which is clearly an evil act and chaotic. So whenever I saw my sister doing that in her playthroughs, because, well, she did stuff like that, she also hired the thief mercenary as well, because obviously I felt like it was fun because I was just a child, but in my later playthroughs, I would never be able to do that. It's just, no, it's not happening, and usually I ended up with 100 good, 0 chaos or evil by the end of the first chapter, because I just could not do anything like that. And there are quite a few other side quests that either start in the city core or that end there. Obviously, some of them are just simple fetch quest. On the other hand, some of them span the entire chapter and offer some interesting dialogues, some interesting insights into the lore of the game, which is quite extensive. Again, it's based in the Forgotten Realms, which is a huge universe. There are many books that I highly recommend to try and read. I might talk about a few of them. Actually, probably will start with Salvatore and his Drist sometime later in the future. I've got plenty of talk prior to that, but we'll see. And then we have Beggar's Nest, which is currently being infested with zombies. And obviously, we are supposed to do something about that. And again, we have the main Beggar's Nest city part, where there are few quests we can help escort safely someone to the gates, or again, good points. Then we can retrieve some quest items, and then we continue to search for another part of the cure and the reason why this part of the city is in the state it is in. There are a few safe places, even in the zombie infested city part. There is a Temple of Tyr, there is a small inn, which is also a safe spot where you can rest. And then there are a few combat spots where you fight either in multiple weaker zombies or some stronger zombies for obvious rewards. Either experience, items, quests, and so on. And while exploring, you'll find out that the reason for this epidemic of necromancy and undead is that one of the creatures that were supposed to contribute towards the cure escaped here and gained power over the undead. a yuan-ti named Gunan. You can confront her inside of her lair in the Great Cemetery, and it's a rather interesting fight, obviously full of undead. There are some tricks, again, to make the fight a little bit easier, same way you were able to persuade the other guards uh, during the fight with the Intellect Devourer, so that you would only have to fight one instead of 5 in the end, because the Devourer would just jump out of the body and find a new host. Here there is an altar during the end fight, and you can destroy it to make the fight way easier for you by removing some of the undead from the equation. So once you are done with Gunan, you talk to the contact person in Beggar's Nest, and then you go back to Heribeth again for some rewards. You can finish some quests. There are quest items for one of the mercenaries. Then there are parts of quests that you can accept in the city core or the mage tower and others. And once you are done with most of that, you can move on to the either Black Lake or Docks. In my walkthrough that we've been using since childhood, the next one was Black Lake. On the other hand, some of the internet walkthroughs went to Docks first. It really doesn't matter at all, but I was just so used to the paper walkthrough that I just went straight to Black Lake. So that'll be the next one.